Welcome to Finding Alara, a safe space where authors, artists, and creatives share their world-building style and mindfulness tactics. Brought to you by Bushland Castle Productions, a micro-publisher with an author support platform that nurtures creative growth and storytelling excellence. Welcome to the Indie Author Book Fair Minisode series. All of these interviews were recorded as a live stream from the Indie Author Book Fair on the 30th of November 2025 in Bunbury. Each minisode will have a live interview component with myself or Paul Vandermeer from Forest.chat, an interview the guest had with Chris Ilsley on the day, and an excerpt from one of their creative works which may just inspire you to have a closer look at what is available in the indie book world. Feature guests 17 of 27 is Narelle Wynter. Narelle is a wife and a mum to 4 boys and a demanding rescue cat. Narelle's career as a pediatric speech pathologist spans more than 30 years. She completed a MA in linguistics focusing on reading development in young children and has worked with thousands of children experiencing reading challenges, both as a speech pathologist and literacy tutor. During COVID, a change in career led Narelle to write several children's books, with I'd Rather Eat Chocolate being her first published children's picture book. I'd Rather Eat Chocolate is a fun, rhyming book with rhythm and some repetitive text, designed to develop reading confidence in young children and reluctant readers. Narelle's keen interest in family health and nutrition spurred her on to write a book that is not only fun to read, but is inspiring children to eat up their veggies. The best place to buy Narelle's book is on her website, funreadsforkids.com.au, or you can request it at any bookstore. Look for the direct links in the show notes. We have done our best to clean up the audio for the interviews, but it was recorded live, so there is some noise from the crowd embedded within the file. I hope that this gives you a feel for what the energy was like on the day. I will return to your ears at the end to share my key takeaways and let you know who the next guest is going to be. The excerpt was sent through and it's just a small teaser from the book. Eat up your veggies, Dad says every day. They'll make you grow strong and keep bad colds away. I don't like veggies, I say with a sigh. I'd rather eat chocolate, a cake or French fry. This rhyming story will have your child wanting to read this book over and over again. Children delight in learning how veggies contribute to the characteristics and movements of the silly animals in the story, and even the pickiest eaters are being inspired to think differently about their veggies.
Fantastic. Here we are with Narelle. How are you, Narelle? I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul. Very nice to meet you. It's been a great day. Yeah.
Narelle, we've had this conversation. We should go off to the pub now. Is that how it works?
We shouldn't we? Yeah.
All right. But where do you keep your chocolate?
Oh, most usually in my mouth. I'm one of those people that I start eating chocolate and I just think I'll just have one square, and then I've eaten a whole row, and then before I know it, the whole block's gone. So I try not to buy it very often. It's something that I do love, but I'm also a big veggie eater. So thank heavens for that.
Fantastic. So how did your love for chocolate lead to all of this?
So what happened was, I've always had a really keen interest in children's literacy. I'm a pediatric speech pathologist by background, and I have also worked as a literacy tutor. I've worked with a lot of children who we call reluctant readers, or children who don't especially love reading. So initially I wanted to write a book that was fun for children to read. So hence my name, Fun Reads for Kids. That's who I'm about, having fun with reading. And I have 4 boys, so there you go, that's my name. But also, I thought, what if I could write a book that inspired children to eat up their veggies? Because as a mum, I know it can be really challenging to actually get your kids to eat veggies sometimes. So I thought, what if I could write a book that inspires children to think a little differently about their veggies? Only 9% of Australian children are eating sufficient vegetables according to the Australian Bureau of Statistics.
Only 9%?
I know. 9%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hardly anywhere. But you've done more than just write a book, haven't you?
Yeah, what I've done is I call it a learning experience. So we've got the book, but we also have the veggie bag. So the bag is designed for children to engage with the story and go to the farmer's market or the shops and choose their veggies or fruit and veggies so that they have a little bit more control and a little bit more engagement with the vegetables that they are wanting to eat. And I think kids love having their own specially designed bag. Then it's just a way of getting them to engage more with the veggies. And then I also have these sandbags here and the veggie children's activity pack, which are all your cognitive tasks. So gross motor, fine motor, memory, language activities. So again, engaging with the story. And then we've got the cooking, so the children's apron, the little child-sized cooking implements, because that's about connecting with parents or carers at home and taking those veggies home that they've bought at the shops and actually making something with them, just really getting them engaged with the concepts of healthy eating.
Yeah, it gives them the entire journey, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, in urban environments, probably a little different if you're actually living on a farm somewhere, but then you want them to actually be seeing them grow and plucking them out, and hopefully parents can even have an area where the kids can grow some fruit and veggies.
Well, that's right. When I go into schools and childcare centres and libraries to do author workshops, the children actually make little mini veggie greenhouses out of half egg cartons with the veggie seeds to take home and start their own little garden, whether it be in balcony pots or whether it be in the ground, or just to get them to grow those seeds and see, this is where the veggies come from. So a bit of interaction.
Yeah, and the most common thing is for them to be able to get down to the shop and actually select the fruit themselves. So that's
right.
Really
yeah. And you're often, I hear that parents are often surprised what they choose to put in their bags. Sometimes things that they've never eaten before. But because they have their own bag, they're like, oh, we'll try this. Oh, I like the look of that. Yeah.
And the book is telling them about the different things, so they can then relate what they're buying to what they might expect to get out of the food as well.
That's right, because, it's about, obviously our food provides nutrients for our body to, be able to move and behave in particular ways. So the carrots, for example, help the bunnies to see at night, help the child in the story to see at night. The zucchinis help the deer to run fast and helps the child to run fast in the races at school. So each of the veggies, and I had to research which animals eat which veggies and then think how the characteristics of those animals could be used by children to help them move their body and use those animal characteristics in their own life, build muscles like the bears. Yeah, it was quite, it wasn't just like wing it. It was like a bit of research involved in the story.
Fantastic. And the indie author side of things that you're doing, did you know what you were getting into?
Absolutely not. I just thought you would write a book and then it just gets, sold. But, there is, because I have done what's called hybrid publishing, so I'm called an indie author, I have had to learn how to market the book and, get it into libraries. For me, it was really important that my book was available in libraries around Australia because I just wanted, and that's a little bit more of a challenge when you live in WA, but I just really wanted it to be available broadly for children. And I had no idea, absolutely no idea what I was getting into in terms of, okay, now I've got this book and what do I do with it now, to get it out there in the real world.
Right, so one of the ways they get out there is by people coming in and buying them. Where do people go to get your suite?
Yes, thank you. I do go to markets, but I also have a website which is funreads4kids.com.au. So people do buy from my website. They're also available in any bookshop. So the independent bookshops in WA do stock them. Otherwise, anyone can go to a bookshop anywhere in Australia and ask them to get it in, and they will order it through my distributor. I do have a distributor. And obviously libraries, there's probably about 200 libraries around Australia who have the book as well. And if your library doesn't, you can actually go to your library and ask to request the book in, and they'll get it in for you.
I'll get it in for you. Fantastic. Thank you very much, Narelle.
Thank you. That was awesome.
We'll leave it there, and all the best with what you're doing here.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Have you finished building your story and you're not sure which pathway to choose for publishing? The Book Reality Experience is a publishing assistance service offering partnership publishing solutions to authors. We have different pathways available and we'll recommend what we think works best for you and your story. Check out our website at www.bookreality.com for more information. Together, let's turn your book dream into a reality.
At the Indie Book Festival in Bunbury, we have yet another author. Surprise, surprise. And this time we're joined by Narelle Wynter.
That's right, I'm Narelle. Hello, nice to meet you, Chris.
Yeah, well, it's nice to meet you too, but need to know a bit about you. Firstly, your authoring, writing of books. How did that come about for you?
So I am a speech pathologist, a pediatric speech pathologist and a literacy tutor. So I've always loved working with kids and reading has been my passion. But you know, I've just always loved kids. I have 4 boys of my own.
Yeah.
And really got involved with helping a lot of reluctant readers to learn to read. And when COVID came along, I actually was terminated from my job. So I had a bit of a career change and
A
had some
speech
time on my hands.
pathologist for children was terminated from a job. How did that happen?
I actually was working in a different line of work at that point.
Oh, okay.
But also I couldn't work as a speech pathologist during COVID. You had to wear a mask. How do you teach children, articulation
They need
and
to
so on
see
with a
your
mask?
face and that,
Exactly.
yeah.
So my husband said, why don't you write some children's books? You've always wanted to write. So I thought, what a great idea. So I'd rather
So
eat
for
chocolate
you,
came about.
COVID brought about your
Yes,
author.
I know. There's always good out of bad, right? I always believe there's always something positive out of something negative.
Rule of equal and opposite.
Exactly, the duality of life. That is exactly it.
Look, we can come up with all the philosophies. The book you've got, which I think is wonderful, I'd rather eat chocolate. Now, when we're talking about kids, and you write a book titled I'd Rather Eat Chocolate,
Yes.
there's only one thing I want to say to you. Oh, duh.
I know, exactly. I am a little bit of a chocoholic, I have to confess. I love chocolate. I'd rather eat chocolate, although I do love my veggies as well. So whilst I've written this book with rhyme and rhythm and some repetitive text to really inspire young children to fall in love with reading, I thought, what if I could write a book that actually influenced and inspired them to eat up their veggies? Because the Australian Bureau of Statistics says only 9% of Australian children are eating sufficient vegetables. I thought, so what if I could write a story that might inspire them to love their veggies? And that is exactly what this book is doing.
Has anybody ever tried to answer the question, why are kids reluctant to eat their veggies? See, when we were kids, we had to eat our veggies. If we didn't, it came back tomorrow as bubble and squeak.
Oh, I know. My kids remind me of the fact that I did that to them. But yes, actually, there's a lot of information around that these days. Kids are exposed to a lot more ultra-processed foods than our children were.
Which is why we're seeing so many more allergies these days.
Yeah, that's right. That is one of the issues. And also when they're exposed to those ultra-processed foods, even though, and they are putting regulations in place to change the labelling, so that's a really recent thing. Yeah. But for young children who are having even like the purchased little pouches of veggies and so on, 60 to 70% of those pouches, even though it says veggies on the front, they're actually apple. So children are getting exposed to quite a lot of sweet food from the get-go, and that impacts the way that their taste buds interact with and like veggies.
We as a creature, the human animal, we kind of naturally have a sweet tooth, don't we?
I think so.
It's really easy for us to say, I like that because it's sweet.
Of course, it's far more appealing. So, one of the lines in my stories is, I'd rather eat chocolate, a cake or French fry. Because they're the things that we will gravitate to because they taste nice, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Vegetables, maybe not so much, but we know that we need to eat those veggies to have a healthy body. And so the children really equate with the silly animals in the story and are wanting to eat their veggies more often.
Now, as a medical professional, because this is where this question is coming from, how much responsibility would you argue parents need to take to ensure they teach their children good dietary habits? For example, we may not relish the idea of eating our veggies, but because we know we have to, if we're taught to eat them, not only will we A, get to like them, B, it's a habit that we'll cultivate that will stay with us for the rest of our lives.
It's actually a really complex question because there are also children who have sensitivities to different tastes and textures if they're sort of on the neurodiversity sort of spectrum. So that can impact a child wanting to try different tastes and textures. Also, we know that in Australia, 73% of both parents are working. And so, you get home after a week of work, you're exhausted, and sometimes you just want a quick
I have to say,
convenience
Narelle,
meal.
though, if you've got kids, that's no excuse. Because first and foremost, your responsibility is to your kids.
But I think the issue is that I don't like to be judgmental about parents, because I know, raising 4 boys myself, it can be a really difficult thing. And sometimes when we're tired, we don't put our boundaries. But sometimes we just don't stick to our boundaries when we'd like to, when we're tired as parents. And I think having a story that really helps children interact with vegetables is just another way of supporting parents to get their children more interested in eating veggies. And that's kind of where I came from, I guess, in writing that story.
Well, the book is called I'd Rather Eat Chocolate. Just been having a chat to Narelle Wynter. Thank you very much for joining us too. It's much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your time. Thank you.
This excerpt demonstrates a small amount of poetry from the book and gives you a little bit of information. I wonder what animals she has included. My first takeaway was that only 9% of kids eat the right amount of veggies. I didn't realise it was that low. My second takeaway was how creative Narelle was and thoughtful. With her creation of the kitchen pack, the veggie bag and the activity book, it really expanded on that initial theme. My third takeaway was how she has used the repetitive text to drill her message in. That is something that I really admire about children's books. What were your key takeaways? If you would like to carry on the conversation with Narelle, then she has a website, funreadsforkids.com.au. She is also on Facebook and Instagram. All the contact details are in the show notes along with her book information. In the next episode, you will hear from Tina Raffa-Mulligan. If you are enjoying the show and would like to show some support, then please subscribe and share these episodes with a friend. Or if you want to go the next step, you can buy us a cuppa. Head on over to ko-fi.com/findingalara. That's ko-fi.com/findingalara. There is an option for you to buy us a cup of tea for $2, or you can join the Shadow Lair for $5 a month, where you receive exclusive content and advanced information about the show. If you would like to get in touch with myself or the team at Bushland Castle Productions, then I'm on Instagram and TikTok as @FindingAlara. There is a Discord channel and Facebook group called Finding Alara Podcast. The Bushland Castle Productions team are on Facebook, Instagram and Discord as BCP Creative. Or you can check out the website bushlandcastleproductions.com for the most up-to-date information. If you would like to get in touch with Chris, then he's on Facebook as Chris Ilsley. And if you want to talk to Paul, then he's on Facebook as Paul Vandermeer and has his own podcast, Forest.chat. The music is brought to you by @Keys of Moon Music and is called The Epic Hero. If you enjoy listening to Finding Alara, have any questions, or just want to share your world with us, then please get in touch. Until next time, keep up the search for your Alara.